Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm happy to see you after this long time without releasing a video. I'm Hervé Kimbo, I'm Christian, I am an entrepreneur and I'm also a tech enthusiast. Unfortunately, we live in a society where many of us don't realize how crucial time management is. According to the American Psychological Association, 20% of adults are chronic procrastinators. According to the job searcher tool Zipia, 82% of people don't have a proper time management system. I meet all the time people who have poor time management practices, and I'd like to share with you some tips that I apply in my own life. But first of all, let's define what is time management. Time management is the ability to use one's time effectively or productively, especially at work. Therefore, the principal objective of time management is to optimize time spent on tasks and activities by helping people to achieve their goals faster. Then, we can understand from this definition that you cannot be productive without being a time management person. You cannot be efficient without being a time management person. You cannot be excellent without being a time management person. You cannot achieve your goals in an effective way without being a time management person. Then we need time management in our daily lives to become more effective, to become more productive, to become more efficient. And time management is then indispensable for anyone who wants to reach a higher level of productivity, excellence, and efficiency. Then, if you really want to improve your time management system more effectively, I really invite you to watch this video until the end. Now, I'm going to share with you some tips that I apply in my own life to manage my time more effectively. The first thing that I'd like to say is that if you want to manage your time more effectively, you need to define first a list of priorities. In my daily activities, I set a list of priorities, and those priorities define the way I use my time. If you want to manage more efficiently your time, you must define your list of priorities. And if you define your list of priorities, those priorities should be based on the goals that you want to achieve in life. Then your priorities should be declined from your life goals. And this is how I organize my time. Based on my list of priorities for the year, for the months, for the week, for the day, I am now able, from those priorities, to structure my time. Then my question for you is this: what are your life goals? And from those life goals, what are your priorities in life? If you do that, it will be the first step to allow you to organize your time more effectively. Because if you have no priorities in life, you won't have no reason to organize your time, to manage your time, because you have no motivation, you have no reason, you have no purpose, you have no goal to achieve in life. Then it's not necessary for you to manage your time more effectively. But if you know that you have the desire to achieve something meaningful into your life, then it is time for you to define clearly, to define exactly what are your life goals, and from those life goals, you can now decline your list of priorities. The second thing that you can do to manage your time more effectively, and it is also what I am applying in my life, it is to choose your time management system. When you already established your list of priorities, you must know how you are going to organize your time according to those priorities. To do that, you must choose a time management system. Some people use productivity apps. Others use calendars. Me, and it is also what other people are doing, I use to-do list. I use daily to-do list. It is a system that I use. And I can say now, after several years, that it is pretty effective for me. My system is then to establish daily to-do list based on my objectives of the year that I declined in monthly objective, and after that I declined in weekly objectives, and finally that I declined in daily objectives. Each of us works according to a specific time management system. You must know what is yours. Maybe that for you, the to-do list system won't be effective. It is effective for me. Maybe that for you, because you are maybe someone who is more reactive when you use applications, maybe that you need to use productivity apps. It will be maybe better for you, who knows. Then you must know exactly what is your time management system. What is the most accurate time management system for you? And based on that, you will be now able to structure your time. Then I really invite you to take time to choose what is the best time management system for you. There is not a best time management system because each of us is different, but there is a best time management for each of us. This, it is really what I want to say. The third tip I want to share with you is time tracking. In my daily activities, in my daily agenda, when I establish a to-do list for the day, I always use time tracking. Time tracking is how I allocate a certain amount of time to each activity and how I track the way I use my time in each of those activities. Then, for example, if I allocate 1 hour in a certain activity and I observe maybe after 3 days, maybe after 1 week, maybe after 1 month, that in fact by allocating this certain amount of time there is no real interest in the realization of my goals by working on this activity, I can say that maybe this activity is not useful for me and I simply remove it and I replace it by another activity. Or if I see that after a certain period the amount of time that I allocated does not allow me to go faster in the realization of my goals, then I'm going to revise the way I use my time in this activity. Maybe that I should give more time, or maybe that I should put it in another part of the day. Then it depends on the way I use my time. It is really important to use time tracking because it will allow you to do a review, a constant review of your time, to see if you use it in an effective way, not only in the amount of time that you allocate to an activity, but also in the activity you are working on, to know exactly if this activity is necessary for you at this moment, or if you should even remove it from your time. The fourth tip that I can share with you is to review your time management system frequently. Indeed, choosing a time management system will not make you automatically more efficient in the use of your time. It will take time. It is necessary to review it frequently. Then, after a certain period, you should ask yourself some questions like, am I progressing in my goals with this time management system? For example, you decided to use productivity apps, and after maybe 1 month or 2 months or 2 weeks, it depends on you, you should ask yourself this question: am I progressing in my goals? Is there progress in my goals by using this time management system? If you see that there is a progress, then you can continue to use it. If you see that there is no real progress, maybe that it is time to think about another time management system. Then you should ask yourself, am I really progressing in my goals by using this time management system? Another question you can ask is, did I allocate enough time for such priority in my time management system? After a certain period, you should ask yourself if you are really going faster in the realization of your goals. If you see, for example, that for some goals, the time you allocated seems to make slow the realization of this goal, maybe that you should revise the amount of time you allocated and giving maybe a higher portion of time. Maybe that you allocated 20 minutes for certain objectives, but maybe after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month, you realize that there has not been a real progress. Maybe that it is necessary to allocate more time to the realization of a goal. Then it is really what I can suggest you to do. You should ask yourself, did I allocate enough time to the realization of this goal? Another question that you should ask is this: am I losing time by working on this priority, and should I replace it by another one to be more effective? If you realize that you are working on a certain priority, on a certain action in your to-do list, and you see that there is no real progress, that you see that it doesn't really help you in the realization of your goals in general, maybe that you've chosen the wrong priority. Or maybe that it's not now that you should work on this priority and you should work on it later. Then you should ask yourself this question, because sometimes we can put some priorities in our daily agenda which are not necessary for the moment. Then you should ask yourself this question, and me, every time I ask this kind of question, because it allows me also to revise my priorities of the moment. If I see that some priorities are not necessary for the moment, I remove them and I put them for later. Or if I see that some priorities are not really necessary even for my goals in general, I erase them, I remove them, and I don't work on it again. Then it depends on you. You should constantly ask yourself this kind of question in order to know if you really have the wrong or the good priorities. The fifth and the last tip that I can mention about how to manage your time in an effective way, it is to be constant and determined. I started this journey since 2015, and after 9 years in the research of time management, of productivity, of financial intelligence, of leadership, of personal development, I can say that it is by being determined and constant in the desire to improve myself, to become a better version of myself by also using my time in an effective way, this is how today I can see that I use my time, I manage my time in a more effective way. Whatever be the time management system that you will use, you will only see results after a long-term period. Sometimes you won't see effective results on a short term, but if you continue, if you are determined, if you are perseverant, you will see results. And you must be constant if you want to do this. It's not that today you begin to do it and finally after 3 days you give up and you do it again in 3 months. No, you won't see effective results if you work like that. You should be constant. You start today, you continue tomorrow, you continue after tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And by doing this, you will see effective results. Then you should motivate yourself to continue to do it every day so that on the long term, you'll be able to see effective results. Then, the more you practice it, the more you gain control over your time. The more you practice it, the more you go faster into your goals. Then, to summarize everything I said, I mentioned 5 tips to manage more efficiently your time. The first is to define a list of priorities. The second is to choose your time management system, the most accurate time management system for you. The third is to use on a daily basis time tracking. The fourth is to review frequently your time management system. And the last tip is to be constant and determined. However, I'd like to add a bonus to those different tips that I mentioned. But this tip that I'm going to mention is not a tip that you can apply now because it's only by practice that you can really see it. It is what are the activities that you should put in every section of your day. For example, there are some activities that you can only do, or I would say that you can do better in the morning. There are activities that you can do better in the afternoon. There are activities that you can do better in the evening. It is based on your personality, based on your preferences, that you will know exactly at what moment of the day you should put some activities. You should do some activities. But to know that it's not immediately, it is only after a certain practice. At this moment, after a certain practice, you will be able to determine what are the activities that you should put in every section of your day. And me, in the way I use my time, I know today when I should do some activities in the morning. I know when I should do some activities in the afternoon, and I know when I should do some activities in the evening. Then there is a specific type of activity for each section of my day. There is a specific type of activity in the morning, a specific type of activity in the afternoon, and a specific time of activity in the evening. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also to like the video because it will oblige the algorithm of YouTube to spread it to more and more people. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and you can also subscribe to my podcast, Growthlife, and you can also subscribe to my blog www.growthlife.blog. If you do it, you will receive a monthly newsletter in what you will be updated on my activities. As I used to say, be an entrepreneur, achieve your goals in life. Thank you very much again, and see you in the next video.